Hi there, freelance friends. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. Today, we're going to discuss what is a very timely topic if you are watching this video around its release date. However, even if you are watching it later, I do feel like these tips and tricks will apply at any time that you find that your work takes a little dip. And that is our topic for today. What should you do to use your time well when your freelance work slows down, especially around the holidays? If you're a new freelancer, you may not know that things typically do slow down a bit for the holidays. On the other hand, if you've been freelancing a while, you probably have noticed that pattern. Decision makers take time off at this time of year. Budgets tend to pause as we're getting ready for the January cycle. And projects often get pushed to after the new year. And of course, while this is not true for every freelancer or every year, most years I've experienced at least some dip in work around this time. Now, this year is a little unusual. Some of my clients ended up with budget that they wanted to spend before the end of the year. So I'm actually still quite busy. However, the last few years, I definitely did experience a dip in the amount of work that I had. And I know that sometimes that slowdown can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to moving at full speed. But it can be one of the most valuable windows in the year for your freelance business for several reasons. First, it's okay to slow down a little. And I really have had to learn to embrace this myself because it's not always as easy as we think it is to slow down our pace when we are used to moving full steam ahead. But it's worth saying it. You should enjoy some of the time that you slow down, especially around the holidays when you have the opportunity to spend time with those people who are important to you. The holidays are just a natural moment to allow ourselves to rest and recharge and come back even stronger than we were before, to spend that time with the people that you care about, and to step back from being in constant delivery mode. Because it's easy to burn ourselves out without realizing it. And burnout doesn't usually come from working hard once. It comes from never giving yourself that space to reset. So taking time off isn't a failure of discipline. It's part of sustaining a freelance career long term. Because this quieter season can create something that's very important and that freelancers rarely have during the year. And that's mental bandwidth. The time to take a step back and rest and reflect. So it really is a perfect time for you to work on your business instead of in your business. I have 7 recommendations of things that you can do that I know have benefited me in the past, and I hope that you will give them a try, at least some of them, and that they'll also benefit you. The first one is to review the year. And you want to do this in a very uncomplicated way. You definitely don't want to overcomplicate this. You don't need an elaborate annual review to be able to benefit from taking the time to reflect and review on the year that is almost finished. Because just the action of taking the time to reflect is going to be beneficial to you. a simple review can go a long way. Things that I'd recommend thinking about are specifically what projects were the most profitable, which projects drained your energy, and where did the work come most easily, and when did it feel like a struggle? Those types of things will hopefully help you to align your work for the upcoming year with projects that are profitable, not energy draining, and came fairly easily. This kind of reflection can help make you more intentional with your choices going into the new year instead of defaulting to more of the same. Sometimes more of the same is fabulous, but sometimes and oftentimes we do need to make at least some small pivots. Second, this is a great time for you to clean up and document your processes, because when you're busy, inefficiencies can hide. When things slow down, they're easier to spot. So this is a great opportunity for you to document some simple things. Maybe how you onboard your clients. Maybe you can refine your proposals or your contract templates. Maybe you can create a checklist for repeatable work that's going to help you move through that work more quickly. Or maybe you simply take the time to work on that resource that you've been wanting to create, but you hadn't previously had the time to create. And while I am still pretty busy this season, I am trying to be intentional about getting a project that I've been working on for a while off the ground and published for those people who are interested. I am working on some courses for freelancers and do hope to have them posted soon. This is the commitment that I'm making to myself and to you through this episode. And of course, while these small improvements don't feel urgent at all times during the year, they're going to save you real time and cognitive load when things pick back up. Third, this is a fabulous time to strategically invest in learning. The holidays are a great time to advance your skills. Oftentimes, we don't have quite as many interruptions, so you can really focus the time on learning something that's going to support your specific niche. That may be learning a new tool that supports your workflow. It may be deepening your expertise in an area that clients already pay you for. Or it may be exploring an adjacent skill that could expand your offerings. Or it could even be reading that book that is going to give you more insight, or listening to that podcast. Of course, you could sign up for something more formal, maybe an online course on something like Udemy to learn something new, but something to invest in your learning will really pay back great dividends in the future. The key is just to be intentional. You don't need to learn everything, and you're not going to be able to learn everything in this short window, but learn something that's going to move your business forward. We all know that those incremental steps do matter. Fourth, take the opportunity to refresh your online presence. Now, I'm not talking about a full rebrand, which is certainly possible, but I'm more focused on a small update that's going to make a difference. Maybe you can update your website or your portfolio with some recent work. Maybe you refresh your LinkedIn profile or bio so that more people can find you there. Or maybe you clarify how you describe what you do and who you can help, working on that elevator pitch, so to say. Now, clients will often start planning when they return from their holiday break. So making sure that your messaging is clear and current helps you show up well when they're looking for your services. Fifth, it's a great time to work on networking and strengthening relationships without the pressure of selling. Because things are quieter, the holidays are a great time to reconnect with people without a specific agenda. You can literally reach out and say, "Happy holidays. I hope we have the opportunity to work together again soon." Use it as a check-in with your past clients. Use it as an opportunity to thank collaborators or referrals that you've worked with over the past year or few years. Take the time to have a low-stakes conversation with the people in your network. There's always a relationship to build, and oftentimes you can learn something that will help propel you forward in the new year from these reach outs. Don't look at these as sales calls. In this circumstance, you aren't intentionally trying to pitch them. It's more relationship building moments that can lead to work later, sometimes months or even years later when the timing is better. Next, set yourself up for January instead of reacting to it. As we all know, we think that things are going to slow down around the holidays, and they often do. But I know for myself, I often think that I'm going to have more time to get things done than I actually do, because January has a way of arriving quickly. So use the quieter weeks intentionally to outline your goals for the first quarter, to identify the types of projects you want more of, to decide what you're going to say no to next year, because it's just not a good fit for you. These things can make the difference between starting the year grounded versus scrambling. And last, remember that a slow season isn't a bad sign. It's easy to interpret a holiday slowdown as something going wrong, but most of the time it isn't. It's a normal rhythm that happens in most freelance businesses. And even though I'm still busy this year, I know from experience that these quieter periods, when they do happen, can be incredibly useful if you approach them intentionally. They offer space to strengthen your business in ways that are hard to do when your calendar is packed. So my final words are, please enjoy the downtime, recharge when you can, and if you have the capacity, use some of that time and space to invest in your future self and your freelance business of the future. Your January self will thank you. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you do. I am releasing them regularly. Take care. Bye-bye.